Good morning, Hoosiers, and welcome back to the Bloomington Breakfast Club. I'm Juliana Mary.
And I'm Michael Skiles. Today we have witches from the Coven of the Phoenix in the studio to teach us more about the magic of witchcraft.
And stick with us for all your unnecessary updates and BTown Buzz for the week.
Grab your cup of coffee, Hoosiers. You won't want to miss this.
To kick off the show, it's time for the unnecessary updates, where we discuss some of the interesting headlines we found this week. And of course, it wouldn't be the unnecessary updates without our correspondent, Asher Michelson, joining us at the red chairs. Thanks for being here.
Excited for another week, guys.
Me too. So to start out with something a little more spooky this week in the theme of Halloween, a professional ghost hunter has spoke out against the sale of Ouija boards, saying that they're dangerous and that they could release deadly demons if not handled by trained mediums. Right. What do you guys think of this?
Well, I stand by that. I'm so superstitious. Ouija boards, any of that, terrifies me. I couldn't imagine, I couldn't hold one, I couldn't open it out of the box, and I definitely couldn't be in a dark room scanning around trying to speak to spirits. So, I mean, people are free to buy what they want, but not going to be me in the store making any purchase anytime soon.
I mean, it's made by the same people who make Monopoly. So it's just a board. That's what I think. I'm not really that spiritually inclined about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've watched too many scary movies and I just feel like it never goes well. The Ouija board comes out and it never is good from there. So personally, I will not be doing that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And then we also have, with COVID being the scariest thing this Halloween season, a car wash, or a few car washes, have actually come up with some alternatives. So they've basically come up with these drive-through haunted houses. Instead of, haunted houses, you have a lot of personal contact. You walk in, people might come up, touch you, scare you, scream in your face.
Right.
Droplet transmission, whatever. Car washes, you can go through the car wash, get your car clean, and also get a few spooky occurrences along the way. So
I don't get how that would work. What if one of the people got caught in one of the spinny things or
Well, hopefully they stay away from the spinny things, but I do think it's interesting. I think it's a great marketing decision for them. With the current times, people are missing out on those haunted houses experiences, and I think it's great. I think it's an interesting way to, promote your business and also get some fun,
clean
spooky things. I mean, car washes aren't generally that fun, so this definitely makes it better.
Yeah.
So some of us are known to get a little carried away with our Halloween decorating, but a household in East Dallas may have gone a bit overboard. Their spooky, realistic decorations led the neighbors to actually call the police.
What was the decoration?
It was a blood bath, and they had so much fake blood and bodies coming out of their house. It looked like a horror scene.
I mean, it is spooky season. What do you expect? But that's also if there's kids, maybe the HOH would not like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. For me, Halloween, it's a cool holiday. I like dressing up and all that. But it's the gore, it's the skulls, the skeletons, the blood, the fake blood. It just makes me sick. So I'm going to sound like a scaredy cat for this unnecessary update segment, but anytime I see the gore, anytime I see that, I would be one of the neighbors maybe phoning in, but getting a little too freaked out.
Michael is the neighbor that called. This just in.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So now this isn't really a news update, but I think it's important, it being Halloween. We all need to discuss what costumes we're going to be going as.
Oh gosh.
Asher, you start.
What are you being, Asher?
My boyfriend and I are going to be scarecrows, we decided.
Oh, that's fun. Are you being a scary scarecrow or a normal?
We were going to do half of our face fun and half of our face scary, kind of bring in
wow, this is a very intricate costume.
And then just flannel because it's easy.
Oh, my costume actually also involves flannels. I am going to be the Ocean Spray guys from the commercials, and I'm wearing waders and carrying around a bucket of cranberry juice. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Very niche.
Yes, I'm definitely going to be representing their brand for sure.
There you go.
Yes.
Some little free advertising for them.
Yeah, I got a pretty niche outfit as well. I'm
Niche.
doing Jeff Probst from Survivor. I don't know if you've seen
yes.
Survivor.
Really?
Okay.
Asher, we're in a class where we've been exploring it for a few weeks now. I got the hat. I got the buff, the Survivor buff. I got the collared shirt, the sandal. I got some beachy bracelets and stuff.
You went all out.
I got the
Wow.
catchphrases down. We're gonna do
I'm
it.
so excited to see how these costumes turn out, guys. So Asher, what's our last update today?
And so in some pop culture news, Khloe Kardashian is defending her sister Kim Kardashian, whose private island birthday party amid the Coven pandemic has really been widely criticized. Khloe estimates that maybe 20 to 25 people, including Keeping Up with the Kardashians squad and crew, took part in the tropical vacation after all the necessary precautions to protect themselves and others from COVID they all got tested, they all, quarantined for the 2 weeks. So I personally don't see an issue with it. I mean, they did the precautionary parts of it. They did their quarantine. They all got tested, and then they flew out to an island. Obviously, they have the financial means to do this. So if I had the financial means to do something like this, I would.
And really, the main argument against them is that they're doing something that other people don't have the opportunity to do. But isn't that what being a celebrity is doing things that other people can't do? I mean, at the end of the day, they live a completely different lifestyle. And I mean, I do understand the pandemic has been very hard on very many people, and it is a tragic thing. But at the same time, as long as they took the necessary precautions, I mean, it's not like they're doing this during
anybody.
quarantine. Technically, we are officially out of quarantine, and if it was allowed by both governments to be able to go into the country, then
Right.
I mean, the Kardashians are gonna Kardashian. You can't stop that.
That is true.
Yeah, I can't protest it. I mean, they're gonna, what is it? Their last season's coming up now.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're going big or going home, even though COVID's about. And if they're having, following the guidelines, they're being careful. I don't see any reason to really, come at them.
I'm pretty sure they all already had it too, so they already have that kind of grace period that they're in still.
Yeah.
I don't know, but don't want to sound incorrect, but I think they were fine.
Yeah. I agree, and I mean the vacation looked absolutely fabulous, so
fun.
I'm happy for them. But let's see what the Bloomington community has to say about these interesting headlines with the latest segment of Asher Asks.
Hey Hoosiers, it's a pretty windy day out here in Bloomington, but we're out here on the streets for our new segment of Asher Asks. Let's see what people think of our unnecessary updates of this week. In the news recently, Kim Kardashian had her 40th birthday party out on another country's island. She brought around 25 people, including a camera crew. This trended #1 worldwide on Twitter. People were saying that she was very irresponsible for doing this. What are your reactions to this?
I think that if they were doing it safely and quarantining and just celebrating her birthday with her family and close friends, I feel like it's her birthday and it's a celebration. So I respect it as long as they're being safe about it.
If I could go party on an island for my
I
birthday, I
would.
would go party.
Yeah,
on
40th birthday, I'd party on my own island.
It's like a little bit of demonstration of privilege that she might have to be able to downplay the actual fears that people have around COVID, the sacrifices that a lot of people have to be making, losses that a lot of families have had, to be able to say, well, this is tough for me and everyone around us, but we're just going to be partying on an island.
A ghost hunter has come out saying that Ouija boards are extremely dangerous as he's had a horrible experience. Have you ever used a Ouija board? Would you ever use one?
I haven't, but I feel like there are things that you shouldn't mess with, but I feel like Ouija boards, they're just a toy that Hasbro released. I don't think those in particular are actually as scary as people say.
I've never used a Ouija board, and I will never use a Ouija board. I'm not into that stuff.
I've totally used a Ouija board back when I was in 5th grade, and my best friend and I predicted who the first person in our graduating class would be that was going to die.
Also in the news, some people are getting a little bit carried away with their decorating. One person actually had the cops called on them because they said that their decorations were too scary. Do you think this was an inappropriate call for the cops?
No, but it does. It does because you have children that walk by and they could get scared. So, we got to keep our community happy.
No, it's Halloween.
And what were you guys for this year for Halloween?
I was an old school golfer.
We were Hooters girls.
Yeah, Logan's agreeing.
420, $1.69.
Oh, I was an owl.
And I was a dragon.
I was Undyne from Undertale.
I was nothing.
So, Hoosiers, people have some mixed opinions on Kim Kardashian and her birthday party. As for Ouija boards, some people are really into them, some people are really against them. People had some really fun Halloween costumes this past year, and you probably shouldn't call cops on somebody for having scary decorations. And all unnecessary updates, this has been Asher Asks. Back to you guys.
Today, joining us in the studio, we have very special guests, Laura and Nikita Decker, witches in the Coven of the Phoenix. I'm so excited to learn more. Thank you guys so much for being here with us today.
You're very welcome.
So our first question, tell us about how the Coven of the Phoenix started.
Well,
I look to you because
we had several people together that actually practiced in what they would call, I think, like a pre-coven kind of deal. It's like a circle of witches. And there was 10, 12,
several
14 of us.
Friends together.
And we got together to assist some people with some things. And then me and one of the other coven members actually went to school together and got reconnected and all kind of got together and decided to bind as a coven.
Yeah, after working together for some time.
Yeah, we worked together.
We did house cleansings and things like that. We were actually kind of helping some of the other members of the circle with some negativity and stuff that they had going on in their lives. And as we got through all that, and a few of us just kind of decided to make a group thing of it, and like not really set it in stone, but make it a group. So we did. We bound and have been working together ever since. This is probably our sixth year,
I believe.
As the Coven now.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So what does witchcraft mean to you?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, loaded question.
That is a very loaded question. Well, what people see of witchcraft and what witchcraft really is are two different things, kind of.
Very different.
First of all, for me, myself, it's a form of spirituality.
Yeah.
I'm pagan. All of us in our coven are pagan and not Wiccan, which Wicca you hear about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wicca is kind of an organized idea, kind of like a Christian church would be, to
kind of a difference
paganism.
between like Christians and Catholics.
Paganism is multi-theistic, so we believe that there's different spirits and entities and gods and goddesses, and we use those things and incorporate it in our prayers and rituals and workings that we do for other people, even cleansings, things like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And to me, it's just a way of spiritual growth. It's part of my life and being. It's just, I kind of just breathe it, I suppose, for lack of a better description of what it would mean to me. I mean, for others, it's different.
Well,
Yeah, it's different for each person, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, to the bare bones of it, I mean, it's just like going to church.
Yeah.
You know, just like the Christians
So
in their
it's
church.
just like what your idea of what takes you to church or what God means to you. It's a very individual thing.
Wow. Well, very interesting stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Oh, you're
Now
welcome.
we're going to toss it over to Juliana for a ritual demonstration.
Now I am joined by Trina, another member of the Coven of Phoenix. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me here.
Great, and we are so excited to learn some more. So first, I want to discuss some of the misconceptions around witchcraft.
Okay, so all kinds of them. One of the first ones is most people think that all witches are bad and negative. We worship Satan, blah, 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 blah. No, only about a quarter of witches go that dark route. Most of it is a liberation of oneness with the divine, God, the universe. There are many different avenues, as earlier discussed with my other members. You have different branches. It's just like with the different religions. Every religion, their main thing is universal love. Love thyself. Same thing with witchcraft. You have to be able to know and love yourself to be completely in tune with God. And that's part of witchcraft.
What are some of the ways that you've been able to use the practices and the teachings that you've followed through witchcraft for good?
It's helped me stay sober for 15 years.
That's great.
So, I mean, a lot of people who are addicts or have addiction issues, physical issues, whatever, you know, traumas and stuff, they have to find something to look forward to. Because if they don't, they're just going to keep going in their circle of chaos and keep going down further. And you'll find a lot of people, even recovering addicts, you'll find half of them start going to church because they have to have that higher power to believe in. And for witches, at least for me, this is my higher power. This is how I devote myself to the universe.
That's awesome. I love hearing about that. And can you describe a little bit more about specifically the rituals that you go through with witchcraft?
There, in paganism, there is 8 main holidays. We celebrate the moon phases. Mm-hmm. Everything can have a ritual to it. It's your preference. It's the person's preference on how they want to celebrate or how they want to do a ritual. Like someone going to Sunday church has the rituals of saying an open prayer, saying an ending prayer. A ritual is essentially the same thing, same concept. It's the intent that goes into it that makes it special.
Very interesting. And I know you brought in an altar with you today. So can you talk to me a little bit more about the meaning behind some of these items?
Okay, so you have the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, spirit, making 5. Spirit is the main important part because it's part of you. So earth would be represented by salt. Air would be represented by an incense. Fire would be represented by what is known as an athlame or a cauldron. And then you have water, which is represented by water. And then spirit, most of the time people will use a candle, a stone, just something that they feel represents spirit.
Okay, very interesting. And when you use these items, can you kind of walk me through a little bit of a ritual, something that you guys would do normally?
Okay, so we would normally set up an altar, and then the first thing that we would do would be to call a protection circle. It's essentially a circle of protection being called on by the elements. If you would like, I can do that for you.
Yes, that'd be great, yeah.
All right. So you would take in a couple of deep breaths to clear your mind. We come forth spirit bound, magic weave round and round. Wind and rain, earth and flame, focus power for our gain. Shield us from all danger and plight, energy bound in other worlds' light. We cast this circle and set our spirits free. Protect all those within, so mote it be.
Very cool. And what, can you explain a little bit more of like the meaning behind that ritual?
That is actually a circle cast that all of us members came up with together. If you do any kind of research, you'll see different little protection spells or whatnot. But we wanted to find something, we wanted to make something that was sacred for us to cast a circle. And that's the one that we felt guided to make.
That is so awesome what you guys have done, creating the Coven and, you know, really starting a whole community within itself here in Bloomington. I appreciate you being here with me so much. Thank you so much for teaching me more about witchcraft.
Oh, you're welcome. We have all kinds of answers and all that. I mean, it's, for some people, it's just, they dabble. When you dabble, you don't truly know what you're doing because you haven't taken the time to learn and you haven't taken the time to study. When people dabble, there can be a lot of repercussions. Not everybody understands the process and the time and the energy that it takes to be a witch. And nobody understands the true struggles that can go along with it, or even if you're not a practicing witch, think of the everyday struggles that you yourself go through and deal with. And if you don't have some kind of stability, you're just going to stay stuck.
Mm-hmm. That's a great lesson. And where can people go to learn more about witchcraft?
In all honesty, they can go anywhere. I mean, there's been books made for centuries. There's different online researches that you can do.
I know one of your members wrote in the Almanac.
Yes.
Where can people find that?
Actually, you can go to the library and find an almanac. Just in general. It's sold on Amazon. I know that for a fact. Bookstores will have it.
Awesome. So thank you so much for being with us. I think that this has been so informational, and I think it's great to get the word out.
You're welcome. And I did want to let you know, to answer another question that you just asked a while ago, I've actually started doing study groups with people, not to become a witch per se, but to find their true selves, their true paths. I do study groups. 3 of the 4 of us members are ordained ministers as well. So, we can do house cleansings, marriages, eulogies, and all of that stuff. I actually have put the word out there that I am a spiritual advisor to help anyone who wants to find their true path to get out of the chaos that they're in.
Awesome. Yeah, those are great resources, and I really appreciate you being here. It's been so great learning about this.
Thank you for having me.
Now we're going to toss it over to Caroline to see what local foodie spots she tries this week in the latest segment of BTown Yums with Caroline.
Hey guys, welcome back to BTown Yums with Caroline. On today's Halloween episode, we're going to be trying out some different chocolate and candy shops, so stay tuned. Hey guys, we are here with Linda, the owner of Olive Leaf Bloomington Chocolate Company. Thank you so much for having us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Could you just tell us a little bit about how you got started here in Bloomington?
Sure. About 15 years ago, I entered a contest with Emerald Lagasse on Food Network, and we won that contest and got to go be on his program. And all my friends at that time said, "Oh, you're just so talented. You should do a business." And chocolate company is what I landed on.
Wow, that is so cool. Could you just tell us a little bit about how you get inspiration to make up all these different flavors and chocolates?
Yeah, sometimes it comes to me in my sleep. I think my mind never shuts off. But we try to take classic flavors and reinvent them, and then anytime I'm out at a restaurant, I'll think of flavors, and then we'll come back and play with them. And we try to feature other local products, like we put the wine in our truffles, and local tea, coffee, lots of things. We just pull from everywhere.
I love that. Could you tell us a little bit about the place and just kind of what all you guys have here?
Well, certainly. We have 2 full refrigerated cases you can see full of truffles. You can come in and choose your own flavors and make your own box. We have some that are pre-boxed. We also have chocolate bars. We hand dip our own Oreo cookies. We try to carry other Indiana products, things we don't do. We have some South Bend toffee and the Albanese gummy bears, things like that. There's lots of choices.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Come check it out. Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you guys so much for joining as we visited this week's BTown Foodie Find. Stay tuned to see what we try next week.
Now it's time for the BTown Buzz, where we highlight a few events going on around Bloomington this week. First up, Indiana University's 30th annual dance marathon will begin on Friday and last 36 hours through the weekend. This year, the marathon will be virtual. However, students will still be learning the line dance and raising money for Riley Hospital for Children.
And on Friday night, the Bloomington Trivia Series will be hosted by Skip Daly at Switchyard Park. This is the last chance for your team to qualify for the championship in December.
On Saturday morning, the Bloomington Winter Farmers Market will begin. It will be held at the Switchyard Park Pavilion and will feature winter produce, live music, and holiday gifts.
And on Saturday afternoon, the IU football team will be playing the University of Michigan at Memorial Stadium.
Wow, we sure do have a lot to look forward to this week. As always, Hoosiers, thank you for tuning in this week's episode of the Bloomington Breakfast Club.
And be sure to follow us on all social media at BTown BFast Club. And if you are interested in joining our TBBC team, please contact Amy at amygala@iu.edu.
This has been Juliana Mary and Michael Skiles for IUS TV. See you next Monday.